Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 104 of our trip around the United States. This morning we're getting things kicked off from the furthest southwest point in the state of Nebraska at Panorama Point, the highest point in the state. It's right here at the corners of Wyoming, Colorado, and Nebraska. Really just barely within Nebraska. In fact, we're looking back into Wyoming right now. Today's plan was a matter of inconvenience. We already had all the Wyoming and Colorado counties in this area. We'd already had all the Nebraska pages completed in this area as well. But we needed to get to Kimball County, which is in the furthest southwest corner of the state. So last night, we pushed on for a good 150 miles and made our way from the endpoint of that day up to this corner where we finally stopped and called it a night. It was pouring rain all night last night, and it was a long, wet drive, but we made it and for the most part managed to stay dry. Today is a 380-mile day in total, but we've already covered almost half of that through what we did last night. From here, we're really going to be focusing on the southwest corner of Nebraska, right where it sits above Colorado. That's going to be it for our day. It's going to be about 150 miles worth of geocaching with a relatively decent target list. We're definitely going to finish this day before the sun goes down, and then we'll start pushing ahead into tomorrow as well. With all that rain that came through last night, the temperatures dropped a little bit, but it is still nice out here because the wind is not too crazy like it was that morning in South Dakota, and it's turning into a beautiful day out here on the plains of Nebraska. We're looking forward to the adventures that today brings, so come on, let's go check it out together. Let's go!
At an elevation of 5,429 feet, Panorama Point is the highest natural point in Nebraska. Despite its name and elevation, it is not a mountain or hill, however. It is merely a low rise on the high plains.
Interestingly, you're not able to hike or bike out to this geocache. You can only drive your car here. That's because the highest point in Nebraska is within a free-range bison area, which means that you can encounter bison along the road here and they do not want you walking in. What we also just found out is this fence is electrified. The navigation out here really isn't trustworthy. We've got turn left. We've got turn to the right. And we've got this shady little two-track. The last time I took a road that the sign indicated away from, it was bad and ended poorly. But the GPS keeps telling me every time I come to one of these roads, hey, take the worst road possible. That's the way you want to do it. It's time for a manual override. I've been driving these roads for the last probably hour and a half this morning, and I still have yet to see another person. I've seen a lot of cows, I've seen some bison, a kitty, but I have not seen another person yet. I wonder when that's going to happen.
It would still be quite a while until we encountered another human being. A big part of that is probably just because we're in the furthest southwest corner of the state, and there really is nothing out here except farms, farm roads, and windmills. I'm sure it also didn't help that nobody wanted to drive these dirt roads after the rain we had last night.
It's definitely entertaining. I know where I'm going. The manual override is working just fine, but there's 3 roads here. This one, and that one. You want to guess which one the GPS is telling me we should be taking right now? That's right, not doing it. And yes, it was raining last night, and yes, these roads are very muddy out here. Momentum is the key.
I kind of like it though. It's like a custom Nebraska paint job. With so few options here in the tiny pages of the southwest part of Nebraska that links up to Colorado, every find is important. We navigated those slick, muddy country roads for the last 30 minutes so that we could come out here and find this bison tube. But that little thing gives us another page. And here we are again navigating through those lonely farm roads.
Alright, this is pretty cool. This is one of those places that you would never discover without geocaching. Heck, I was barely able to discover it with geocaching. The roads out here were tough to navigate. I never even saw the place until I got within about 500 feet. And then it popped right out of the cornfields at me.
These ruins are all that remains of St. Peter's Danish Evangelical Lutheran Church, built by the settlers of Little Denmark. Just the same as when I see a ghost town, I'm compelled to investigate whenever I see ruins like this. It certainly helps when there's a geocache right there calling out to you, "Come explore! Come explore!" I also really love it when a cache owner hides a container like this rather than a micro. It's always great to be able to pop the top and take a look at all the stuff that's inside. And in keeping with the location, this geocache is filled with different kinds of church materials.
It was a slow pace on the walk out, but she can see the car ahead. She is moving now. Once she's got the car in sight, there's really no stopping her. She's like a missile locked on target. I can make it, I can make it. Gonna go back to sleep, gonna go back to sleep. You're almost there, right, Jen? You're doing great. Ooh, that car's so close you can taste it, huh?
Seeing memorials and historical markers dedicated to the Pony Express out west is a common sight, but I was not expecting to encounter one out here in Nebraska. The Pony Express was only in operation for about 18 months, from April of 1860 until October of 1861. During its operation, the Pony Express reduced the time for messages to travel between East and West Coast to about 10 days, which was phenomenal for the time. It did not last long, however, once the telegraph service was established. It did, however, demonstrate that a unified transcontinental system of communication was possible to be operated year-round. After closing its doors, the Pony Express became an integral part of the lore of the American West. And as if it wasn't already exciting enough to come across one Pony Express memorial out here in Nebraska, we came across the second immediately after. This one was a lot more fun to get to, though.
What a difference. That last Pony Express station was right off the interstate. This one is right off the edge of the map.
And what you see is what you get. There is absolutely nothing else out here with this marker. All of the towns we passed through moving southeast along the 26 were basically ghost towns with populations barely popping over the triple digits, but Broadwater caught our attention. They took their rundown Main Street area and spruced everything up, adding decorations and a little splash of color to each of the buildings. In preparation for Halloween, they've also started making a haunted house out of the area. This will certainly leave visitors passing through the area with a good impression, as it did with me, although the geocache here is what really caught my eye. There are only 2 in the area. One was hidden in 2005 and one in 2002. And as most any experienced geocacher would tell you, ages that old require you to come off route and make some finds.
Hey Vegas duo, I'm back! Well, sort of.
This marker represents the state line between Colorado and Nebraska, and also the starting place of 3 Nebraska counties.
Where the handle meets the pan. This road's where we just came out of Nebraska, and it's where we're going back to. This road behind me splits the state line, Nebraska on that side, Colorado on that side. And this road is just straight Colorado below us. So we've been getting rained out for the last few hours. It's a little cold and it's a little wet out here, but as you know, the geocaching continues. Love being at state markers like this, but seeing that big, beautiful benchmark on top of this marker makes me so sad.
From the state corner marker, we had to make our way directly north to reach Arthur. To get there, you have to pass over the Lake McConaughey State Recreation Area. Locally known as Big Mac, it is easy to see where this name comes from. It is Nebraska's largest reservoir, its dam is among the largest of its type in the world, and its fish grow to epic sizes. It also features beautiful white sandy beaches, which I did not expect to see in Nebraska. Once we had made our way north across the lake, the sky opened up on us and it was raining the entire time we traversed our way back through the sandhills. From here, every stop was a fight to stay dry and warm.
Well, travelers, that marks the end of our daylight and the end of our target list at pretty much the same time. We've made it back out to the sandhills, not too far from where we ended our day yesterday, actually. And it's been raining on us the last couple of hours, so the entire time we've been on the sand dunes, we've had fantastic views, but we really haven't been able to share those with you due to all the rain. In fact, this is the first and really only break we've gotten in the rain the last couple of hours, so we wanted to make sure we were able to close our day out while it was at least a little tiny bit dry, which it's really not, it's just wet out here. Since we finished with enough daylight, I'm going to work on pushing my way east into tomorrow's route, and with a little luck, I'll be able to get us out of the sandhills to start the morning on the rest of Nebraska. This is what I consider the hard part of this state. this entire northwest corner has a lot of limited county options and a lot of limited page options, and it was very difficult to navigate. But now that we're out of the northwest section, it's going to start moving a lot easier. There's less miles on the rest of our days and a lot more great targets to work with. We're looking forward to seeing what the rest of Nebraska has in store now that we've gotten through the entire quarter of the sandhills in the northwest portion of the state. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.